Hey, what's up? This video is going to be breaking down Purdue at Nebraska. I got a little cut up of all the relevant footage I felt like kind of analyzing and diving into, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Second down and 10 play of the drive for Nebraska.
This was kind of the cap. Ozigbo making a good play and getting into the end zone. He ran well all day.
Play action. Blau, pressure late.
Yeah, on this one. Okay, so right now we need Barry to recognize this as soon as the quarterback is looking here. You know, Barry has no one to cover over here. So, I mean, he has no reason to have to get out here. So unless he's in a zone protecting this area, but he needs to start shading this way a little bit sooner because we can see they need 19 to get a first down, and he ends up not being able to get over here, and this guy gets the edge and gets the first down. So just a little bit late on the play recognition. And this was their long touchdown play. You know, we've got guys here. You know, Gifford kind of has contain. He comes up and sets the edge. And, you know, this guy's got a hand on Neal's back, but it's not really holding. I mean, there's that kind of stuff going on every play. We just need someone to get up in here and make a play, and it doesn't happen. Clear that. And right here, he had a chance. This play has to be made. He's got to get his helmet on the outside shoulder and make this play, and just was not in position soon enough to make it happen, and it's a touchdown. But as far as defense, we had people there. The guys just didn't make a play. Let me turn down the sound just a little bit. I don't know how loud that's going to be. Great throw by Martinez. He's got effortless arm strength.
Little late pass rush. Martinez in trouble, able to get away. And Martinez close to the first down, but looks like about a half-yard shy.
That's what a dual threat quarterback can do for you.
It's Bell in trouble, and he didn't get there. Nope.
This was a 4th and 1, and we've got to start getting more creative on 4th down. And why wasn't Ozigbo in the game? Like, Ozigbo averaged like 8 yards all game. Why do we pull Ozigbo out for this 4th down? It's 1 yard. Like, I'm sure in the first quarter he's not so gassed that he can't run 5 yards forward. Like, I don't understand why we pull Ozigbo out. He played well all game, and he's our bigger back if this was going to be our play, but we're just getting stuffed on these 4th and 1s all year. We got to start getting more creative in these situations.
Anthony Watts slams the door on the Huskers' 4th down try. But they bite hard on this.
Oh, this is hilarious.
He's right in the middle of the field.
Okay, so it's not funny because it's a flea flicker that they gained like 40 yards on. But, so the quarterback throws this ball like 25 feet in the air, and Mo Berry jumps up and tries to block it. He like jumps up and swipes at it. It goes 20 feet over his head, and he jumps up and tries to swipe at it. It stuck out to me. I thought it was pretty funny. See, look at that. He jumps up and swipes at it. Okay, so we field the ball in the end zone. We don't have to bring this out. Then we fumble it. We're 2 yards into the end zone. We don't have to bring this ball out. We can just take a knee. But we decide to pick it up and run out. I mean, come on, guys.
He's going to bring it out anyway. And Woodyard stumbling down at the 15-yard line. Second and 10. All day. Martinez looking deep for Stanley. Morgan in double coverage.
No pass interference somehow.
Ooh, boy. I think they may have gotten away with one right there, Kevin. Taking the ball, as you're going to see right here. Let's see if he can get both those hands out. Yeah.
Okay, so this guy's job is to look at one thing. To look at this interaction between the receivers and the DBs to see if there's any fouls, and to watch the ball to see if the receiver catches it or not. You have one job, and you're looking, you're in perfect position, you can see everything. How do you miss this call? The guy's hand is obviously around Morgan the whole time, grabbing at his hands and stuff. He can't even get his hand up to make a play on the ball, and you miss this call. Like, this type of stuff just keeps happening to Nebraska for some reason, and I don't really know why. Like, I understand calls are missed, but this one's just unexplainable.
You see right there. Didn't look like
He's looking right at it the whole time.
Crowd just saw it too. Watch Kenneth Major, the freshman. Sindelar has that experience. 3rd down and 7. Blau.
Okay. So, we've got 3rd and 7, and this is just brutal. It's 3rd and 7. We are in man coverage with 2 deep safety. Okay, so when you're in man coverage, you have to maintain discipline on the edges, okay? So our defensive ends have to contain this quarterback. And then our defensive tackles have to contain the quarterback going up the middle. And then we've got one guy who can play kind of a QB spy, watch the running back, that type of stuff. Okay? And watch what we do on 3rd and 7. Okay? I mean, Gifford just comes flying upfield, leaves this massive lane that we could literally drive a semi-truck through. And he has to take the running back, because if he doesn't, he flares out for an easy 1st down. So now we have literally no one. Like, when we're setting up our defensive schemes and coaching these guys, they have to have the situational awareness to know that we have man coverage behind you. Your DBs can't come up and make this play. They're covering their receiver. Our defensive ends have to stop this. You can't just come flying 15 yards upfield and let the quarterback run for the 1st down.
Purdue on the move, 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Little stutter step.
This was just a little bit late on the play recognition, and we didn't set the edge soon enough. So right now, this guy is kind of changing directions, but he needs to, be hurrying to contain. And this is a little bit of a hold here that's obviously not going to get called. And then, if this guy can set this contain, this guy can fill in on the lane and make the play. But, again, we've got guys that can prevent the touchdown. It just doesn't happen. And he makes a great play. This number 1 for Purdue was a great athlete. If you've seen my videos, I told you earlier in the year that DiCaprio Bootle, in my opinion, is the best player on Nebraska's defense. I've analyzed film all year and analyzed every play, and he stands out game in and game out. Watch how he plays this. I've got to kind of point this out. Okay, so DiCaprio Bootle is right here, locked in man coverage right here. So what Purdue is going to do is they're going to try to kind of get the whole flow going this way. And what they're going to try to do is create a mess for this guy to run a crossing route, and then they're going to throw him the ball, and the guy covering him isn't going to be able to kind of follow him and keep contained. But I mean, watch how Bootle plays this. This guy is a stud. Look at him, play recognition. and look at him get his head on the outside shoulder and make sure that he's going to attack the outside of this player, and he's either going to bury him or make him come to a complete stop and go back inside where he's going to have help. This is just absolute textbook defensive back play. This is just great.
Good protection for Blau. Good tackle by DiCaprio Boodle. Taking any more commercial breaks. So stick around with us. You'll have nonstop football.
Okay, on this one, Martinez needs to have better play recognition. We need to see that there's a big threat here. And this guy's obviously getting ready to blitz. And then right from the snap, these guys are coming. And based off having 4 wide and 1 running back and no tight end, we're not going to be able to block this. So he needs to recognize this and get the play out and get the ball out. But instead, he like pump fakes or something and just does not get this ball out.
Stick around with us. You'll have
Like right there, that pump fake needed to be the ball gone. He needs to recognize this sooner. And I know he's looking out here to the left and it's going to be tough, but he's got to recognize this pre-snap and be ready to make this play.
Martinez is in trouble. Martinez is sacked.
Because that could have been avoided.
Pressure coming.
Okay, and again. Okay, so our defensive coordinator dials up a good play call. We've got the matchup we want. We've got a guy coming free at the quarterback who is rolling that way. This is, you're only going to get like 3 or 4 of these a game where you just happen to dial up the right play call at the right time and everything works out for you. We got to make this play. If we make this play, it's a sack right here. Loss of like 7 is 3rd and 17. But instead, watch what this guy does in this situation. This is going to be a recurring theme on our defense. I mean, the one thing you can't do as this guy is let this quarterback get outside of you. That's the one thing you can't have happen. I've showed you some instances of like DiCaprio Boodle and these guys come up, attack the outside shoulder, make him come to a complete stop and go back inside, or crush him if he tries to get outside of you. And break down, get ready to make the tackle. You can't just run in a straight line full speed. I mean, this is a missed opportunity for our defense. Good defenses make this play.
Pressure coming. They have to bring somebody from the edge. Blau on the run, and he threw it away. Long.
See what Nebraska comes up with.
On 3rd and 10. Blau looking, flag thrown. Intercepted Markel Dismuke, and Dismuke.
We finally get an interception. And of course, there's a penalty. And it's just kind of the story of 2018 Nebraska. Finally get something going your way, penalty.
Play action to the sideline, finds Spark.
See the difference here? So on this play, this is DiCaprio Boodle again. This is a guy who knows how to play football. He's gonna kind of lose contain. He kind of slipped a little bit, and he gives up this reception, and you can tell that he's prioritizing, crap, I gotta get outside of him like right now. This is a guy who knows how to contain and play defense. Watch how he kind of like, make sure he gets contained at least. He's like, okay, I may have given up the catch, but I'm gonna contain him. And then he dives out, look at him dive outside of him and attack him from the outside in.
Sparks in the arms. 2nd and 5. Knox with the carry. Knox in trouble. Mulberry's got him, and he'll lose yardage.
It's a good play by Barry. This is what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so they've got the 2 pulling linemen, and Barry's just gonna split the difference right in the gap and bury the running back. Great play.
2nd and 5. Knox with the carry.
And I love the passion he plays with. Look at Barry, he's fired up.
Now for Purdue. Blau to the air. We've got a whistle, and this one may have been stopped.
Trey Neal also fired up. Some of these guys are showing some passion that I like still. And that's what happens when you don't let them get outside of you.
Martinez from the 12. Divine Ozigbo has a hole. And Ozigbo with a good cut. Ozigbo caught across the
Ozigbo did run well. There was a hole there, but that could have easily been a 10-yard gain.
pressure coming. Martinez in trouble.
Again,
And the pass.
Martinez needs better play recognition. We've got to know pre-snap that this is a possibility of this happening based off what we're seeing up there, and we got to be prepared for this. And this is a play that could have just gone disastrously wrong.
Martinez with pressure coming. Martinez in trouble. Hit and the pass incomplete. Deep look. Empty backfield on 3rd and 14. Blau on the run. He's got room to run. Blau turning on the jet. Look. Empty back.
Okay, 3rd and 14 again. 3rd and 14. What can we not do? We've got guys in man coverage across the board with 2 safeties again. Same exact thing. What can we not do? We cannot lose contain and let the quarterback get to the sideline and shred our man defense. So what do we do as Nebraska? We get 2 guys in the same gap going inside of the quarterback on 3rd and 14. And as you can predict, you should know exactly what happens in this situation. This is just bad defense. Doing the same thing again. We lose contain. We go inside of the quarterback. And look at this holding. Look at this holding by this offensive lineman here. Look at this holding. He's got his jersey the whole time. The referees are looking at this, or at least they should be. It's right in front of them. He's holding the outside of his jersey the entire time, and it's obvious that he can't get out to contain the quarterback. And they don't call it. Holding him the whole time there. So that was bad defense and a missed holding call, and that results in a 3rd and 14 being converted. And if I'm going to give him praise, I've also got to criticize him. DiCaprio Boodle is right here. This is a coachable moment for him. He's got to come up, set this edge. He cannot lose contain here. He's already got momentum going that direction. But, the problem is 24 is getting blocked. So if he sets the edge too hard, this guy just comes up and, so this was a little bit of a tougher play. But I just wanted to point out that DiCaprio Boodle makes mistakes too. And he kind of takes that one step inside and just kind of loses contain a little bit. Good defenses can't lose contain on this many plays. And this was a big play. This is going to be like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. And this guy's, you can't put your head down close to the sideline. You can't lower your head and missile at people on the sideline. It's going to get flagged. He was coming 100 miles an hour, so it's not as bad of a penalty as it looked like. He was kind of in a tough position, but you can't put your head down on the sideline like this. So, if I'm coaching him, we got to keep our head up, especially when we're going to the sideline. You can't missile like this. It makes it an easy call for the refs. And 15 yards. Okay, I don't know what this was. This is what it would look like if I kicked it. This is what I would expect it to look like if I kicked it. What was this? All right. And again, this is just kind of Nebraska's season in a nutshell. Our punter just slips and we actually do get a pretty good roll on this. That could have been way worse. Again, just making unnecessary mistakes. We've got to have more. We've got to have more football awareness. That ball's coming out. You can't tell me you're not a good enough athlete to pull up here. Like, you are. The ball's obviously coming out. It's gone. You pull up here. You can't risk this. It's going to get called every time. And Nebraska just keeps beating themselves over and over. And there, you see, this is what happens, what I was talking about. Okay? Now this is Purdue making the mistake. 41, you have got to come up here. You cannot let Martinez get outside of you. And here's Purdue making that same mistake. Martinez gets outside of him, makes him miss, boom. And it costs Purdue about 10 yards. Good play by Martinez. Okay, so what happened here on this play? So this is going to be a big play to this guy right here. And we are man up right here. So what's going to happen is this guy and this guy get confused on who has who because they're going to switch. This guy goes inside and this guy goes outside. And one of them thinks they're going to switch, and one of them thinks they're going to keep their same man, and they get confused, and it's a big play. See, so right there, they're both covering this guy. And this guy's locked up with him, so this Purdue player is just running free. We had two guys get mixed up in coverage. I don't know. It depends on the scheme. I don't know who's wrong. But, you know, it depends on the play call and what the defensive coordinator has going on here in this certain formation and scheme. So I don't know who's wrong, but this was just a flat-out, like, blown defensive assignment here by one of these guys.
Looking deep, he's got Hopkins wide open. Bryson Hopkins, a giant gain inside the Nebraska 30. Wow, off-play action, looking down the side.
And this is DiCaprio Boodle again. This is perfect technique. Ball's in the air. You're stride for stride. You're with the receiver. You get your head around to look at the ball. This is perfect. This is coaching tape for defensive back play. And if he doesn't have his head around, this guy makes this catch, it's probably a touchdown for Purdue. But because he has his head around, he can make a play on the ball. It's an incomplete pass.
First down. Blau under some pressure from Gifford, and he'll throw it away.
I don't remember what I wanted to talk about here.
On first
What was I...
down.
Oh, is it us losing contain again?
Blau under some pressure from Gifford, and he'll throw it away.
Maybe, but...
From the 31, off play action, Martinez with protection. Martinez has Morgan wide open.
I wanted to show this because this is such a pretty ball from Martinez. Look at this pop spiral. Perfect. We haven't had a guy that can throw the ball like this in a long time, which is exciting. Okay, so here again, this is Nebraska's season in a nutshell. We have the perfect offensive play call against what they were running and what they ended up doing, like a blitz, and we run a screen, go right behind them, big gain. And we get the most ticky-tack penalty, random call against us, and it comes back. Okay, so they called on number 1. Okay, number 1 is right here. And you tell me when he does a holding penalty. Now, nope. All he's doing is running a route. And all he's doing is running downfield. And right there. That's what they called. Right there. That's a hold. Okay? This is a hold on number 1, what he does right here. Somehow. I don't know how, but That's a holding penalty. I mean, all right.
Holding offense number 1. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Any linebacker gets blocked by a wide receiver.
But this is good. We come back and we respond. Look at this dime from Martinez. This is just beautiful.
Should be embarrassed.
Martinez looking for Spielman in the end zone. Leaps up. He's got it. Touchdown.
Look at this throw. Back shoulder. Just perfect.
Martinez. Blau. Quick slant. There's Rondale Moore. And Moore spins out of the tackle. Makes another man miss. Rondale Moore.
Okay, so that was a big play for Purdue, but that's not what I wanted to point out. This is what I wanted to point out. Okay, look at where, oh, I got the wrong pen here. Okay, look at where these guys are when the ball is thrown. This is where the ball is. The ball is going down to number 4 here. And these guys all turn around and make it 45 yards downfield from where they were. They were behind the line of scrimmage when the ball was released. They get up, they turn around, and they run downfield. And here they come. Coach Frost talked about that in his post-game press conference. He was like, you know, we got guys out there trying. You know, you don't see that very often. You don't see a defensive lineman on the ground when the ball is thrown, and they get up and run 50 yards downfield. You don't see that very often. So, like, this team isn't quitting. This team is still trying to win. They just can't overcome the constant penalties and beating themselves and blown calls and stuff. They're not quitting, which is a good thing.
Blau going up top. Looking for the touchdown.
Again, they're picking on Boodle, and I don't know why. Like, I understand he's shorter, but look, he's got his head around. He's playing the ball properly. He's stride for stride. Boodle is just beasting it up in this game. And I don't know why they keep throwing it at him. I mean, maybe he's like 5 inches shorter or something, so they think they have a mismatch. But if I'm the coaching staff for Purdue, I'm throwing it the other direction to somebody who isn't playing as good as Boodle this year. So kind of curious to me on why they kept picking on him.
Offensive player. Watch this. See how he gets put.
Oh, yeah, and this is roughing. Somehow. Being shoved by 2 guys into the quarterback as he throws it. And I think what the ref ends up calling here is the hand to the helmet, which is tough. I mean, I guess, okay. You can call that. It's ticky-tack, but if you're going to call the ticky-tack ones, I'm fine with that. Just be consistent. There's going to be a play down the road that's ticky-tack against Purdue, and they don't call it. I'm fine with, like, call it tight, call it ticky-tack. That's fine, but do it consistently, which they didn't do for some reason. I don't know why. But there's a bad break for Nebraska there to get this call.
Swing pass to Spielman. Morgan out blocking. Spielman with a first down and then shoved out of bounds as a flag.
Yeah, so okay, so you're finally thinking as a Nebraska fan, like, okay, now we finally got a ticky-tack roughing call.
Swing pass to Spielman. Morgan out.
Right here, he comes up, pushes him out of bounds. And then you see the flag, and you're like, okay, we finally got a call. Nope, it's holding on Nebraska. And that's what Frost is saying. He's like, come on, man. Like, if you're gonna call the ticky-tack ones on us, and then we finally get one where they shove us out of bounds, and not only do you not call that, you call something on us. Like, just very frustrating day for Nebraska again.
Frustration boiling over right now.
I can't blame him for that.
Martinez over the middle. He's got his tight end Stoll. And Jack Stoll into Purdue territory.
Nice throw by Martinez again.
Sideline, he's being looked at
And this is what a dual threat quarterback does. This is 3rd and 10, and this is what's just brutal for a defense. They've got the right play call. They've got him dead to rights. And Martinez just, nope, sorry. First down.
Here's Ozigbo. Good cut. And Ozigbo down. Ozigbo.
I know a couple. I've heard a few people in the Husker community kind of being critical of Ozigbo, like, oh, any running back, those holes were there all day. Any running back would have been good. Watching these two plays from Ozigbo ran well, and he does deserve credit. Makes a guy miss, makes the right read, finishes the run strong, falls forward, ball security. On this run, recognizes, makes a guy miss, gets through the gap, gets through another one, scores. Not every running back scores on that play. Ozigbo did run well, and honestly, if I have to pick a running back right now who is the best, it is Ozigbo. He played well. I think any running back would have had over 100 yards because there were holes there all game, but Ozigbo did definitely play well. Okay, so we have a low snap. Low snap. Okay. Whatever, it happens. Low snap. Next play. Very next play. We roll it to the quarterback and throw the ball away. This is the second time I've seen this happen. Bunch did this a couple games ago. You're out of the pocket. Throw the ball away. Why didn't we coach the quarterbacks on this when Bunch did it? Bunch did the exact same thing. He was running to the sideline, and he just willingly ran out of bounds. We got to have the recognition to save ourselves the yards and throw this ball out of bounds. I don't know why. We just run out of bounds for a 10-yard loss. That could have been prevented. I don't understand why we didn't coach that after the first time. This happened a couple games ago.
Farmer in. And the bad snap there puts Nebraska deep in a hole. Martinez with a lot of time. Nobody open. Now going to run. Little hesitation. Looking for a block. He got one.
And again, this is why you got to have a guy like Martinez. This play's dead. Purdue plays this perfectly. It's perfect by Purdue. Okay, look at the difference. Look at the difference here. Okay? You remember the play I showed you of Nebraska when it was 17 yards to go and the defensive ends just go flying upfield and then there's a lane that's like 20 yards wide for the quarterback to go through? Okay, look at the difference here. Look at how Purdue rushes the quarterback in this play. They're under control, slowly converging the pocket. Okay, look how much better that looks than that play I showed you earlier of Nebraska with the 20-yard gap for the quarterback to run through. This was well done by Purdue. They did the right thing. It's just Adrian Martinez making a great play.
Martinez with a lot of time, nobody open. Now going to run. Little hesitation. Looking for a block. He got one. And Martinez with a first down. 5 touchdowns. This offense really likes the tight end when it gets going. Good protection again for Martinez. And he threw it.
Okay, this is bad fundamentals here by Martinez. So, right here, he's in a good quarterbacking position. And honestly, now Purdue's made the mistake of getting washed up and having a defensive end go too far upfield. And there's this big lane here. It's 1st and 10. I would like to see Martinez kind of recognize this and step up. So, kind of a missed opportunity here. Martinez had some play recognition issues kind of going on in this game. And starting in the fourth quarter, he wasn't throwing the ball near as well. He was throwing the ball high and stuff. But he lets his fundamentals break down here. Okay? Like, right here would have been fine. But he doesn't throw it. He pump fakes. So now his feet are parallel to the line of scrimmage. And he kind of throws with his feet parallel to the line of scrimmage, off his back foot. And it sails on him. This is a good play here by Boodle. This is what I talk about, setting that edge. Okay, so in this situation, Remember when I showed you the one guy coming off the edge and he just flies right by the play? Watch Boodle. He could easily just come full speed, try to, land a crushing hit. But no, he kind of comes up, breaks down, sets the edge, stays under control, and we make the play. This is how it's supposed to be done. See, break down, outside shoulder, under control, make the play.
Now Martinez on the keep. Looked like he wanted to pitch that one and instead stayed.
But yeah, that was kind of the cut up of the game. So now I'm going to pull up the stats, box score, all that type of stuff, and we're going to go over that type of stuff. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so here I've got the kind of box score pulled up, 42-28. Purdue wins this game. If we take a deeper look into everything, a couple things that stand out to me is going to be Purdue's quarterback played really well, an 81 QBR, 25 of 42 for 328, 7.8 average. So that was actually below his average. He came into the game averaging like 9.1 per attempt. So Nebraska did a decent job, but their quarterback still played really well. We've got to get a... Come on now. That thing randomly starts playing. But we've got to get a better QBR than 40 out of Adrian Martinez. Was kind of a rough day for him. Made a few mistakes, but not awful. Ozigbo played extremely well. He, 17 carries for 170, averaging 10 with a long of 35. That is an awesome game from him. Martinez, we'd like to see him be higher than 5.1, but averaging 6.6 as a team is very good. Purdue only averaged 5.1, so we had a surplus of 1.5 in rushing. So usually good enough to win because the average pass was pretty even, 7.8 to 7.7. But again, they didn't have as many mistakes or interceptions and missed throws as Martinez did. Although they were both 25 for 42. That's interesting. You don't see that very often. In the receiving game, J.D. Spielman had himself a game, 10 receptions, tearing it up. We didn't really let anybody go bananas on us from them, so a decent job in that department. But yeah, we had one fumble, they had 0. And then if we go over to the team stats, again, we've got Nebraska gains more yards and loses. Right here, Nebraska gains more yards, loses, gets more first downs, loses because 1 turnover to 0, and because of this, penalties. 136 yards to 75. So we had way more rushing yards, more total yards. All that matters is turnovers and penalties for us. We got to win the turnovers and penalties, or we're going to continue to lose games like this that we could have definitely won at home. If we have less penalties and less turnovers than Purdue, I think we win this game. So kind of same old story for Nebraska, and now they are on to Wisconsin to hopefully clean this stuff up. And I will be making my preview video for Nebraska at Wisconsin here in a couple days, a little bit later this week. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.